What's going on, everyone? Jordan here, one of the co-founders and CMO of Wallet Guide. Welcome to Guiding Your Wallet, a weekly segment where we get down and dirty and talk about tips and tricks on how to simplify your savings. This week, I want to talk about recent graduates, or that person in your life about to graduate college. And if you look over here, that's my dog Ryu. When I graduated college, I didn't know what was going on. And it's partly the reason why I joined Wallet Guide, right? I didn't start learning about personal finance until it was too late. And that's a common trend with millennials like myself. Buzzword here, millennials, negative connotation, right? But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Millennials have a bad rap in personal finance. I was one of them. So let's outline some key steps so you don't make the mistakes that I made after I graduated college. Step 1, ready for it? Start planning for that emergency fund. Get this. As of 2016, 7 out of 10 Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. That's crazy. And look, when you graduate college, that's when real life happens, right? You move to your own place, maybe a new city, and you never know what may happen. And look, you can use your credit cards in an emergency, but you're gonna have to pay that back, right? With interest. Can you imagine if you had a separate emergency fund dedicated to when things go bad, so you don't even have to think about it, right? Really, what's more important to you? The stress of living paycheck to paycheck if you have something go wrong and you can't pay for it, or the security and a safety net and the peace of mind of having something set away just in case those emergencies happen. Look, think back to the last time you had an emergency where you had to sport this huge load of cash, right? Were you comfortable spending that money? I'll tell you right now, that happened to me before. I was not. Look, you're probably thinking, Jordan, I can't save money. I don't have the funds to get there. Look, saving money starts with changing your habit and changing how you perceive spending your cash. So it doesn't have to be large increments. Start off small, right? Save what you can. Something is better than nothing. And after building the habit of doing it in little increments, you'll be surprised on what you can save in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, the list goes on. Step 2 to help my college homies, always be learning, right? Keep building that resume even after you graduated college. Especially with today's digital trends, attention is shifting towards these online devices, right? And you can get certificates or information anywhere at your own time. And I'll tell you a story. My background is in computers, an IT consultant to be exact. And I actually learned digital marketing and marketing on my own through online sources. And look at me now, right? I'm doing something different than what I was already doing. So the moral of the story is you never know what you may get into. You may take an online course, and when you're applying for a new job, you may get a 10K increase just because you know the material. That happens more and more each day. Again, take a look at me. I learned marketing online. So always be learning. And the third step on helping new college grads on personal finance, look, you're at the point in your lives where you're adults, right? And adults do big fun things. And a lot of times, actually when I got asked to do big things, I was always short on cash, right? And what's the most important thing in life, right? We want to build memories with our friends and our families. So start thinking about setting aside some extra cash for these important events, right? I mean, you only got one life, might as well live it up. I mean, you may want to take a trip to Europe, maybe go cross country, or maybe you and your friends want to take this crazy trip to Las Vegas. It doesn't matter what it is. Think about it. If you had this separate stash of cash solely for these fun events, you won't even think twice if someone asks you to go, right? And let's be honest, what are the main reasons you say no when you get invited to these fun events? I have something to do, I don't know, I'll have to check my schedule. No, the real reason why you say no is because you don't have the capital or you don't think you can afford going on these trips, right? But what if you could? Again, going back to my previous statement of setting aside what you can, here's another tip. For the people who are going on this trip, make saving a game and compete with one another. Gamification, that's the big thing with these apps these days. Who can reach the end game first, right? And furthermore, if you make a game out of it, collectively, you will all think about new things before the trip to save even more cash. And maybe bringing a sack lunch to work, not going out to the bars and just staying in and watching a movie. The list goes on. I mean, look, I was a newly college grad once too, and I was promoted with these same challenges that I'm talking about in this video. So let's recap. Step 1, start thinking about setting aside some cash for an emergency fund, and the simplest way to get there is just taking baby steps. Put away what you can towards an emergency saving fund. Step number 2, always be learning. You never know what future employers might look at when you apply to your dream jobs. And with the popularity of digital content these days, you can learn on your own time. And you never know the increase that you might get from this cheap online course. So always be learning. And step number 3, you're adults now. You're gonna be invited to these trips that you wanna go to. So set aside some extra cash so you don't even have to think twice and just say yes and have the time of your lives. And it starts with making a game out of it. changing your habits. That wraps it up for this week's segment of Guiding Your Wallet. And if you want more help in achieving the steps that I outlined to you today, check out www.walletguide.com. We help create better habits so you can save for the future. Again, my name is Jordan Loriaga, and I will see you next week. Catch you later.